cold and frosty this morning. Wednesdays have been my doctor appointment day, and so yeah, that's where we're headed. Josh is gonna meet me there. Like, I have no idea how long this could go yet. I mean, so I'm in the room with Josh. Anyway, this is not great news, not necessarily what we wanted to hear. How are we gonna do this? You're saying, oh, it's just a shock, yeah. Okay, do you wanna see? Can you see the baby? They want me to go get him out because they said there's not a lot of water in there for it to swim around in. Should we go get him out? Listen, I gotta go, okay? So I'm not gonna see you till after the baby's out of my belly, okay?
Go home.
Go home. Yes, I've been crying. It's just a shock. But yeah, I'm gonna go in and pack everything up and try to find some food and get to the hospital as soon as possible. It is 10:05. Okay, 40 weeks and 3 days. Last bump shot. Oh man, what a wild and crazy morning it's been. I will update you all after I'm in the hospital and like doing better, like being monitored and everything. But basically what happened was I went in for my 40-week appointment and I had an ultrasound scheduled because I'm measuring small. I have been measuring small the whole way through, and lo and behold, my fluid was at a 3, and she said anything under a 5, they induce you. So I'm supposed to get in right now as fast as possible. Funny thing is, I got all the things I had to do done yesterday. If you have not watched my baby watch video, you definitely don't want to watch that first because that's going to be the first part kind of this video. I got everything done I needed to yesterday, so it's kind of crazy how it's all working out, even though I don't feel mentally prepared yet. I have to like get my brain wrapped around this idea. I'm just praying for a good, speedy labor and a healthy baby and hopefully no C-section. I hate saying this stuff to a camera because it's like, then you have to watch it back later when you're editing and you don't know what the ending is. Anyway, here is all my stuff that needs to go into this suitcase right here. The baby stuff is ready to go. There's the birthing ball, the car seat. Oh my, it's starting to feel really real now. But yeah, I gotta get this all packed up and I'll see you guys over at the hospital. I still got my last meal. It's a breakfast crepe from Rachel's Creperie and my frozen pumpkin Nutella mocha. Wow, that's a good way to start things. Okay, so here's the deal. Josh just left the room to get some lunch for himself. He was hungry. It is 1:28. I have still not gotten anything yet. They just did all like the general admitted stuff. They gave me an IV, took them 2 tries. First time that ever happened. Anyway, it hurt. But yeah, the plan is pretty much right like the other 2. They want to give me Cytotec first to soften me up a little bit. She said I'm soft actually, but she said the cervix is really far back yet. And so they're going to give me Cytotec and I'm supposed to bounce on my birthing ball. I might, yeah, I don't know, write in my journal a little bit and stuff like that, but I don't want to have too much on my list. I have emails pouring in that I'm supposed to deal with and stuff, but I'm like, no, I need to keep my mind where it belongs. I'm feeling a little bit nervous, a lot nervous. Yeah, I just had such good labors before. I'm really nervous about this one. Anyway, I am going to change out of this nasty looking gown into something else here just in a second. It's nice to feel like yourself, even if you're in labor. It doesn't mean I want to feel like a giant bag. But yeah, so that's the plan. And then if I get dilated enough, they'll put a Foley bulb in, and then that will fall out at a 4. And yeah, just kind of step-by-step process. I have the same midwife, at least until tomorrow morning. She goes home at 8, who delivered Fletcher, so that's fun. I can't believe that she was on. I was like, what are the chances? But we'll see if I actually have it over her shift. I don't know. I really hope so. Really hope so. But it's 1:30 and I still haven't gotten anything happening yet. But yeah, I'm not gonna be filming anymore in the hospital room. Sorry if you're expecting a lot of blood and gore and description and I mean, maybe I'll film some more, but you're not gonna see it. Me and my baby deserve a little bit of privacy, if you ask me. I try to write everything down as it's happening as best I can in my journal. But yeah, very, very fascinating to read back on and just see God's faithfulness the first 2 times. So yeah, the one thing that is hanging over my head is the low amniotic fluid. With Evonnie, I was at a 5.3, and with Fletcher, I was at an 11. And today I'm at a 3 with this little guy. So hopefully everything still looks good and the baby doesn't have any stress. I'm not contracting at all right now. I'm like 30%, I think she said, or something. And the cervix is pretty far back, and I'm like a little over a 1. So those are the numbers. I'm also 40 weeks and 3 days. The last time I was 41 weeks in a day. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. I appreciate all of your prayers. I keep thinking about them. They're gonna get me through this. And I'm determined to like just take it moment by moment. I really feel like my other 2 birth stories are in my head, and I want to get them out of my head and just like start fresh, be flexible, just roll with the punches, and just focus on the here and now. But using my past experience as like, yeah, just a testimony of God's faithfulness and like an encouragement. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated and I'll let you know how it all works out later. Hopefully I have a healthy little baby to hold in my arms. Hopefully, dear God, please. Anyway, I will catch you in a little bit. O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. But I'm gonna take a pregnancy test. I have been hoping to be pregnant. I don't think I see a line. Yeah, you can't see them on camera, and I don't see it in real life either. So I'm gonna take another pregnancy test again. There it went. Oh my God, dear God. I mean, even you guys can see that, right? Like, that's really obvious. What do you think about babies? There's a baby in Mom's belly.
No. Where's the baby?
This is all the baby right here. This is the baby. You can't really tell what it is yet. Yep. We're having a baby. Oh my goodness. But there is the bump, or lack thereof. Fletcher, do you think it's a boy or a girl?
Yeah, boy and a girl.
Oh, boy and a girl.
Ready? Here it comes.
Set.
Ah! It's blue.
It's blue. You see?
It's gonna be a boy.
I passed my glucose test, but I was measuring 3 weeks behind again. So I scheduled an ultrasound for Monday. I love it. I'm so excited for this baby now all of a sudden. Wow. And I don't get baby. I thought I was gonna have my baby yesterday. Oh my word. Let me tell you that story later too. I did not pack my hospital bag or anything. Everything's still laying on the floor up in the nursery. I'm excited to take you along on a day of my life, massively pregnant. Anyway, this is about as big as I'm gonna get here. And every day is a waiting game. You never know. I remember it feels like yesterday I just told you guys, and now here we are. For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well.
Oh, true. He's a couple days.
Yeah, he's like right on the
Almost a full
curve.
week early.
The ultrasound tech said 7'2", so she was off by a little bit.
I mean,
Almost, yeah. She said 7'2". What is he? Oh, he's 6'15". Oh, okay, so he's bigger than, he's right in line. He's smaller than Fletcher, but bigger than Evonnie. I thought it was 6.1. That's what I was seeing. Hi, Fletcher. Hey.
I didn't know.
You don't know what? Do you want to see the baby? It looks so fun. Hi, Evonnie. Are you excited to see the baby? Are you having a good day? Would you guys like to see your baby brother? Do you want to? He's very tiny and he's very perfect and he's very sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Daddy's holding him, okay? There's Daddy.
Oh.
Ah, there's the baby. Do you
You see a little baby?
Do you like his beanie?
That's little baby.
Yeah, I think he looks like Evonnie.
That's me.
No, that's your brother. What's his name?
It's baby Fletcher.
It's baby Fletcher, he said. Do you want to hear the name?
What's her name?
Alright, it's
I
baby.
don't know.
It's baby. I'll just hold you here like this for now.
Oh.
But hey, look at you. Yeah. What's going on?
Do we match our voices? Do our faces match our voices? Huh?
At least he doesn't mind his car seat.
Yeah. We're home. Oh man. So we just got home. I'm going to hopefully sit down in a little bit and tell you guys how everything went before I forget it. But the kids are gonna be here in like 5 minutes and we're gonna have them meet their little brother. Also, the Starbucks chestnut praline latte, I got it iced. It's not great.
Mommy,
Hey! What did you bring me?
the way for you.
What's up with your hair? Oh my goodness. Wait, where are you going?
Now,
Here, let's take your coat off.
I
Your
think
shoes.
I'm seeing
You so excited? Okay, we'll put your shoes. Oh. We'll put your shoes in your coat in the basket, then you can come. Oh, his little face. Bonnie is ready to play doll already. You want to go put your shoes here under the Fletcher, hey! Come give Mama a hug. Fletcher, he's hilarious. He called him Biscuit. A biscuit? Oh, that's cute. Is that his nickname? Look at Fletcher's face.
Do you know what?
I didn't think I was going to get any reaction from Fletcher.
It was named. I forgot his name. I named him Dresden when I was trying to think of
Dresden.
But that's not his name.
No, that's Felix's baby's name.
Try not to bump his head.
Is he tinier than you thought, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Hold his head up.
She's like, get the hat off. I want to see his hair. Gotta be careful. Bonnie, when we brought you home when you were a tiny baby, there was nobody for you to meet. It was just you. There was no brothers and sisters.
Fletcher, sit
He's
still.
lucky.
What do you think of your little baby brother?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Did he come out of my belly?
He looks
Yeah.
His skin is so nice.
Did he come out of my belly? See it?
That's gone. That's gone.
Now it's gone. Yeah, he
Alright,
understands.
go sit down. Then
My stomach's gone.
You want to give him a kiss, Fletcher?
you need to let Grandma have a turn.
No, Bonnie, and their heads are very soft and mushy at the beginning. Okay, their bones aren't hard on top of their heads. So you gotta be careful. What do you think? You just can't get over it. Huh?
I'm done.
You're done?
I'm going to do it now.
Okay. Aww. There he is. Hi. He's so awake. Oh man, so here he is. So good to finally have him here safe and sound. Stay tuned till the end and I will let you know what we decided to name him. Uh-oh. You have something to say? I just fed him now, so he should be happy for a little bit. Hey. So I thought I would tell you the birth story while I still have it fresh in my mind. I have my journal right here. I am odd like that, and I like to keep my journal by the bed and like journal as things happen so that I have it in real time. And so it's always fun to look back when I have done that for all 3 of my babies now. So I will refer to this if I need to, but make sure you stay tuned till the end. I will share his name. And yeah, I just know there was a whole bunch of you that said you were praying for the delivery of this baby here. And I want to tell you at the end why your prayers are so appreciated and why he's a little miracle baby. It's a crazy story. So yeah, let's get into your birth story. Do you want to hold him, Josh, while I do it?
I can hold him, but if you can lay on the floor, I'd be happy watching it.
There, I'll just lay him right here. Hey, new scenery? Okay, we'll see how long he's happy here. On Wednesday, I had an ultrasound scheduled for 8:45, and then I had just a regular checkup afterwards, and I was gonna be 40 weeks and 3 days. And the reason I was getting an ultrasound was because my belly was always measuring small, and they just wanted to make sure things were okay. And so we went in for that. I was not mentally prepared at all for like actually going into labor or anything like that. I was assuming I'd at least have a week yet. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Josh did. He said he was in the back of his head, but he did not help me mentally prepare at all, which anyway, it threw me for a loop, that's for sure. But we went in and they said, she's like, I'm not gonna lie, the fluid does not look good. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, and that's right when my heart started pounding, like, oh dear, are they gonna wanna induce me? So sure enough, we went to the appointment. Josh was with me after the ultrasound. Oh, and she took the cutest 3D ultrasound pics. I like cried because they were so sweet, and I was just like, I want to meet my baby. Anyway, little did I know how soon I was going to actually meet him. And so we went to the appointment, and she's like, yeah, did they say anything to you? I said, well, they said the fluid isn't great. Yeah, she's like, it's at a 3. And she's like, we automatically induce you if it's at a 5 or lower. So a 3 is not good at all. Anyway, and my goodness, my heart just sunk to my toes. I'm like, well, there goes my chance of going into labor naturally. And I just, yeah, I couldn't quite wrap my brain around it. She said that we should go straight over to the hospital because they want to monitor me. I guess the risk with low fluid is that the cord is floating in fluid, right? And it needs to be like buoyant. And if there's not a lot of fluid there, it can get like kinks in it, or it can, yeah, it can cause stress to the baby, and they just wanted me on the monitors as soon as possible. But we begged and asked, well, we asked her if we could go home, say bye to the kids who are at my mom, and then pack up our bags and go back to the hospital. And she said, I guess, but she doesn't really recommend it. So that's what we did. We stopped at Rachel's Creperie for my last breakfast meal, and we went in and we got to the hospital at 11:23 is what the time was when we checked in. And nothing happened like almost the whole day, you know, till you get admitted and they go through all your vitals and things like that. It took a long time, and nothing happened until the midwife came in at like 1:45, and they decided to administer Cytotec to soften up my cervix so that I could go into labor. I was like barely a 1.5-ish, like not quite a 2 yet. I was only 30% effaced, and yeah, things weren't the greatest, but they're like, whatever, you're only 40 weeks and 3 days, you're not 41 in some like you were the other 2 times, so yeah, it might take a little longer, you know. So they gave me a quarter of a tablet of Cytotec, which is like 25 microdoses or something. I forget what they call that. Anyway, and the idea was that it would soften me up so that she could get a fully bulb in me once I was dilated to a 2, and then that would take me to a 4, and then they would start Pitocin, and it would just be like this whole rigmarole of steps to finally kick my body into labor. And if you watch my other 2 labor and delivery stories, you'll know that I got induced both of those times too, both of them with Cervidil or Cytotec. Same type of thing, I guess. Both of those times I didn't need any pit or anything, it just threw me right into labor. So I was like really hoping, but trying not to be actually hopeful that that would happen. And so yeah, nothing happened for a while. I didn't feel really even crampy even. I had my laptop there, I was doing emails, Josh was doing work stuff. I sent Josh out eventually then because it was such a beautiful day, and I was like, go get some supper and stuff. So finally at 6 o'clock, my midwife came in and she was able to get a fully bulb in me, and it fell out an hour later, which meant I was already at a 4. And over that time I felt a little bit crampy. I know some people say they hate those things or like they're really uncomfortable. It was, I mean, you're not super mobile or anything, but I bounced on my birthing ball and like walked around and stuff. And yeah, within an hour I was already to a 4 from being at a 2 when she put it in. And so that fell out right as the nurses were changing their shifts, and nobody did anything. For like an hour and a half I waited, and nothing was happening. Like my body was cramping and stuff, or contracting when I had the fully bulb in, not badly or anything, but it wasn't doing anything. Then after it came out, and I was just like stalled, like nothing was happening. And they were busy on the floor. There was lots of babies like being born or like that needed care and stuff, and so nobody came, and I was like starting to regret, like, why do I do hospital births all the time? Like, this is ridiculous. I'm just 1 in a million. And I was like feeling kind of grouchy, like all we're doing all day is waiting around. We've been here since 11. I knew also my midwife was eventually gonna go off call, you know. Anyway, so I was just like getting really antsy. So anyway, at 8:20, the midwife and 2 nurses came in and they explained to me what my options are now. And she wanted to break my water and get things going. And I freaked out. I was like, no. Because my other 2 labors, whenever my water broke, it was like at the very end, and it was so intense. It was like transition, and it was like crazy hard contractions. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's gonna be so painful. And she's like, yeah, it's not the gentlest option, but she's like, we gotta get things going. She's like, or we could just start you on a small amount of pit. But when I hear pit, I hear epidural, and I really did not want an epidural so badly. I just did not want to feel numb and like claustrophobic and like I can't move around, and I was able to do it without an epidural. The other 2 times I was like, can you just give me Cytotec again? And she's like, well, that's just to soften you up and you're soft already. She's like, now we got to bring the head down, have real contractions, and get you into labor. Anyway, we deliberated for like half an hour what to do because I did not want to like call the shots. I was too nervous to make the wrong decision. Finally, we decided, yep, we're gonna do Cytotec a little bit more because the baby handled it completely fine, even with the low fluid, everything was looking good. She was gonna give me 50 microdoses of it instead of 25. And so the nurse left to go get that done, and nothing happened. Nobody came. Nobody came. And over this time, I was feeling like more contractions and more contractions. And when I say contractions, I mean like I would be like, and Josh would be like, what's up? I'd be like, oh, I'm feeling crampy, you know, like that. Like that's how I was feeling. Like I had to talk a little differently, but not terrible. I didn't really think much of it. I was laying there trying to sleep. You know, I was on my phone a little bit and stuff too. Wasn't sleeping, that's for sure. And I was feeling worse and worse by the minute. So it was pretty much 9 o'clock when we made the call that we were gonna get the Cytotec, and nothing happened. At 9:30, the nurse finally came in and she's like, by the way, we're not gonna give you any more Cytotec. Look at this monitor here. Sure enough, I was having contractions very regularly, every 2 or 3 minutes, and they lasted about a minute each. And I'm like, yeah, I said I am feeling it. Yeah, I was like so happy my body started up again. You know, it did nothing from when the Foley bulb fell out until the midwife came in that second time. And then it all of a sudden picked up on its own. I don't know what. I think it was actually the laying down for some reason made it start happening again. Before that, I was like bouncing on my ball and walking around and trying to get things to progress and bringing, you know, she said if I bounce on the ball, it'll bring the head down a little bit more maybe, because the station, it was at like a -1 station or something, nothing good at all. So yeah, at 9:30, I was like, yeah, I feel these, like they're pretty, like they're starting to get, yeah, I could watch them on the screen, and the screen sometimes would turn off and it would annoy me because I like to see them and see how high they were. And she's like, yeah, that doesn't mean anything. She's like, we can't actually know how strong your contractions are, but she's like, it'll tell you when you're having them. Anyway, and I could see other ladies on the monitors too that were having them. I think there was like 6 beds in my hallway that people were, I think there was 3 ladies in labor at the same time as me. But 9:30 was when my contractions really started, and when the nurse said that I don't need anything else, we're just gonna see what happens. I lost my mucus plug eventually. I was starting to feel like, yeah, a lot more agitated. I kept going to the bathroom and coming back, and like I would alternate between having like grabbing onto the bed or like trying to just lay completely limp, because I heard of the Bradley method from Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Try to just relax every single part of your body. But that didn't really work for me. I needed to like writhe around a little bit, or like rock back and forth, or like move. That just helped me, like, I don't know. And I tried to visualize like I was surfing, like up and down the waves, you know, of pain. But I was like, nope, it's not pain, it's pressure. And like, I kept trying to remember those 2 hours when nothing was happening and how frustrated I was. And I'm like, I want these contractions. I want this baby to come. I need every single one of them, you know, but oh my word, I started like feeling a little bit like I was dreading them sometimes. But in between contractions, I would just like bolster up my courage and be like, yep, I'm gonna be ready for the next one here. But yeah, rocking back and forth seemed to help. I would go back and forth to the bathroom. I would like drink, and I would count, okay, after 7 contractions, I'm gonna go to the bathroom again. For some reason, I just had this thought that, you know, the other 2 times is I went into transition when I was in the bathroom, and so I was like hoping that would happen again. Yeah, they were just getting worse and worse, and finally I guess Josh knew I was getting pretty worked up. I was just like in so much pain. I was like, how in the world am I gonna do this for a long time? Like I just needed some hope. I wanted to know what I was at. And I guess my midwife kind of sensed it, and she came running in and she checked me at 11:30. So 9:30 was when my contractions started. 11:30, she came in and checked me, and she said I was at an 8. And I didn't know if I wanted to slap her or if I was happy because 8 was definitely progress, but it wasn't like, I was feeling like about at the end of it. I was like, I can't get an epidural, there's no time for that. I just, yeah, I was almost feeling like I had to mentally like control my thoughts or I was gonna lose it. I think I did not go into this labor mentally like as positively as the other 2, because I knew I had 2 really good birth stories with inductions, and I was like so afraid I was gonna hold those expectations up again, and then they weren't gonna be met, and I was gonna be disappointed in myself. So I was trying not to have expectations. I was just trying to like just live in the moment and just like be proud of myself for surviving and for doing such like a crazy hard feat. You know, birthing a baby is no joke. Anyway, so like I said, 11:30 she came in and checked me, and he was born at 11:45. So I'm not all 100% sure what happened in those 15 minutes. I know Josh about fainted He just started feeling lightheaded. Josh, what made you feel lightheaded? Was there anything specific?
No.
Not really.
Seeing you in pain, I guess.
He said, yeah, he hates seeing me in pain. And yeah, I was like moaning and stuff. I was not as quiet as I was the first time around, for sure. Like, I don't know, moaning just helped. Anyway, so I also got really hot over that time, and like I knew there was like doctors and stuff in the room and stuff, but I didn't care. I was not paying attention. Josh was like beside the bed some of the time. At one point in that 15 minutes, he like put his hand on my back and was like pushing, trying to do counter pressure, because my contractions were in the front and the back. Like I had back labor and they were also in the front, which they both hurt really bad. Like they'd sometimes alternate back and forth, and sometimes they would be at both places at the same time. One time he put his hand on my back and was like pushing, and I'm like, Josh, it feels like a butterfly on my back. And he's like, what? I'm like, you're not pushing at all. Like it felt like so much pressure inside. And he's like, I'm sure he was pushing really hard, but to me it felt like nothing compared to what was happening inside. Anyway, so he was like about fainting. They gave him like alcohol swabs to sniff, and then he felt a little better. He put his head between his legs. I don't remember any of this because I was trying to survive, right? At this point, my contractions still had, like with the other two kids, they were on top of each other, boom, boom, boom at the end. Like I never could relax at all. And with these, there was like a 30-second pause, and then the next one would come. So they were kind of still in waves. But yeah, I kept thinking, I tried to envision like muscles pulling apart so that the baby could come out. I was like just trying to keep my mental game going, because that definitely helps, give yourself something to think about. And before this, when the contractions weren't quite as bad, I would try to envision a part of my body that didn't hurt, like my earlobe or my chin or something like that, and focus on that area. But that didn't, I mean, it helped, it gave me something to think about. So back to from 11:30 to 11:45, she finally told me, like after like 5 minutes, she's like, by the way, you can push whenever you want. And I was like, yeah, I'm feeling it. I feel like I need to push. Which I guess at 11:30 when Josh called the nurses in, he had said that I told him that I felt like I needed to push when I was in the bathroom. So he knew that that probably meant it was time to go. So I must have had transition in the bathroom again. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, after like, I guess it was like 11:40, she said I can push him out whenever I want to. And I think the first 2 times I pushed kind of scared, gingerly, kind of like I did with the other 2 kids. And then the next 2 times I like meant it, like I had to just get him out, and he came out. I think she said I pushed for like 6 minutes, but I wasn't really engaging that hard the first couple of times. But anyway, it went really good. It hurt like crazy, of course, there's a ring of fire and all that stuff, but he came out and he was like so perfect. My other babies were never like perfect when they came out. Like his skin was so nice and even, and like it wasn't soggy or wrinkly or like white or, I don't know, it was just crazy. They kept saying, look at your baby, look at your baby, and I just could not turn around. I was really like dreading it. Oh, I delivered my baby on my hands and knees, which I did that for the other 2 as well. But anyway, I could not bring myself to look at him because I was so nervous. Like I just wanted a healthy baby. I finally did look at him, and like I said, he was so perfect. It was crazy. And he looked like Evonnie. I was shocked. I don't know what I was expecting, but he looked so tiny too. He was right in the middle. He was a little bit bigger than Evonnie, but smaller than Fletcher. So yeah, after that, it's just like a whirlwind. I counted, I think, 8 people in the room. Josh was like, of course, like feeling better and in awe, like there's his baby, right? And I, once again, felt no rush of emotions. I never have with any of my kids, and I kind of like it that way, because I was a little bit of a basket case before labor and delivery, just because I was like mentally trying to like prepare and everything. I kind of like that I feel more robotic and matter of fact after a baby, because you just kind of, yeah, you're so sleep deprived and like whatever else, and you're hurting and everything. And so I'm fine with not having a ton of emotions right away. They always come. They always come. Like, I'm very proud of him. But like, I mean, I still have to get to know him, right? That's just how it works. But to tell you how he was such a miracle baby was, he came out and immediately the midwife like gasped, and she's like, oh my goodness, he's such a miracle baby. Look at this. There was the cord, and there was a knot in the cord, which Josh looked it up and he said it's like only 2%, but it happened to my sister-in-law too. And I'm starting to wonder if it's a little more common than we realize. But yeah, he had a knot in his cord, and he also had low fluid, and the whole time I was pushing, his heart rate was completely fine. Like, he did not care about it at all. I cannot believe I didn't have to have a C-section. Like, I can't believe his heart rate wasn't dropping every time I pushed. Or, I mean, I guess I didn't push very long at all, so maybe that helped. I don't know. But yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. A lot of hard work. But yeah, I just thank you all so much for your prayers, because obviously that's what, I mean, that's what got him here safely. Like, that could have been a disaster, having low fluid like that, first of all? What if I decided not to do the ultrasound? Like, I know some of you were like, oh, don't let them scare you and stuff like that. But I'm so glad I did do that extra ultrasound, because she said probably what would have happened was slowly the baby would have stopped moving as much. And yeah, you never know what could have happened. You would have really had to rely on your fetal counting, like the kick counting and stuff. So I'm just, it's such a relief to have him here, knowing like what could have happened or whatever. So God was so faithful. He's here safe and sound, and I would like you guys to meet him.
You want to say hi? Look at that face. Are you so wise? Are you so wise?
So this is Miller Hayes Fox. Josh was the one that had the final call, because I said he needs to name his sons, but I love the name too. I knew it was gonna get mixed reactions. I know a lot of you that watch this, maybe your last name is Miller, but that's his first name. Hey, I figured we can do that, right? People are naming their kids their first name Fox, right? So this is Miller Hayes Fox, and he was 6 pounds and 15 ounces and 20 inches long. And he was born at 11:45 exactly. Yeah, that was my labor and delivery story, and I'm so glad to have our third baby here safe and sound. I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. Let me just look at my notes here. Oh, I meant to ask her if she would consider this labor unmedicated, because I had the side attack, you know, to kickstart me. I didn't have any pain meds of any kind, so I guess it's unmedicated in that way, but I don't know if you can still call it unmedicated if you had to get started. It definitely wasn't 100% natural, because I had to have the site attack and the Foley bulb. But yeah, I think they would still consider it an unmedicated birth, but it was a hospital birth. Anyway, I did want to say, I was laying in my bed yesterday thinking, wow, what a privilege to give birth in a sterile, clean hospital environment. It is something that so many people do not have the opportunity to do. Even if I had to wait around a little bit and stuff, because I wasn't the only lady in the world having a baby, I'm so glad I got to do it. I admire you moms that get to do the home births and things like that, but if you are like a little bit nervous because you know you're gonna have to do a hospital birth or whatever, and you've maybe heard bad things about it, just, I really, really, really appreciated every stay I had at the hospital with having my babies. They've all gave me the best care ever. One more thing I forgot to say was I did not tear this time, which was wonderful. I had a little bit of a tear both times with the other two, so I was so thankful for that. And one more fascinating thing is the midwife looked at my placenta afterwards, and she said she thinks I might have had COVID, because I was suspicious that I had it like when I was like 2 weeks pregnant, maybe 3 weeks, and I had it for like 12 hours, like symptoms, and I felt fine. Like I just lost my sense of taste and smell and was a little bit like stuffy nosed, I think. But my friend got tested and she had it, and I think I gave it to her even though I didn't even know I had it, and it was very, 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 very mild for me. But they think that looking at the placenta there were some calcifications or something. They're like, yeah, you probably did, but I guess that my hospital's procedure is for them to take the placenta and send it off to a study for COVID stuff to see, like, yeah, just I guess to investigate anyway. So that's where that went. So I guess it'll be interesting to get that back and see if I did indeed, you know, have that or not. But anyway, long story, I know, but I like to have this for my memory's sake. I can look back on it and just remember God's faithfulness and a third positive induction story, a little miracle baby, and we're now a family of 5. So stick around. I will be vlogging in the future here soon, and yeah, I can't wait to continue life both in real life here and on YouTube. And if you're annoyed at me, I didn't tell you his birthday, but it was November 3rd. So sorry for holding off so long on telling you all, but not really. I'm not that sorry. I wanted to keep him, I don't know. He's our special little thirdborn, right? I mean, I wanted to keep him to ourselves for a little bit. So we can't live every single moment out in public, right? Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. You go to your daddy? You wanna go to your daddy? All that talking put him right to sleep.